Hello.
Hello.
I'm really excited. First and foremost, Aladdin is coming to the Fabulous Fox, the Fabulous Fox. It's the
B.
Broadway series season. Very excited about this. Nathaniel Hirst, am I saying it right, Hirst?
Yes.
You're local.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
This is exciting because we have been having we have some of the best talent right here that comes out of St. Louis, ends up in
Yes.
Broadway. I love
Yes.
it. So let's talk about you first, and then we'll talk about Aladdin and I mean, gosh, this is cool. You went to high school in Belleville? Bellevue.
Yes.
Yes.
Belleville.
Belleville. I always do that. Bellevue is a different school. And when did you
Yeah.
graduate?
So I graduated from Belleville West High School in 2016.
Wow, you are young. And then
Thank
did you
you.
always know you wanted to be into show business?
No, no. I grew up doing theater with my parents because both my parents are singers and trained musically, but it was never a I'm going to be a dancer because I was an athlete as well growing up, and I didn't like decide that I wanted to be a dancer until I was in high school.
Really?
Yes.
And then the bug hit you. It was what? What were you? Did you audition for a play, or did somebody go? The teacher go, "Oh, you're good. I know about you."
I so I went to New York for the first time when I was 16 because I
Oh,
was working on a little
wow.
project out there, and I saw Disney's Newsies on Broadway,
What a great show.
and I I don't know what it was, but just like seeing a bunch of guys around my age just jumping and flipping and doing all these tricks all over the stage, I was like, I want to do that. But I didn't have any like real formal like dance training or anything like that. And when I in like the day after, I asked some of the people that I was working with, I was like, how do you audition for a Broadway show? How do you audition for tours? How do I audition for Newsies? And I just went to as many auditions as I could. I didn't know about like headshots and resumes and all this other stuff. I just knew that I wanted to do that show. And I think my love for that show led me on a path to start exploring this as a career.
You know what's great about that is there's a couple things that you said. First off, you said you had no formal training, but you had your mom and dad. So
Yes.
to me, that you couldn't get a better training than two people that are raising you that are singers
Yes.
and are entertainers. And the other thing is, and this is new for me, and I'm a firm believer of it, and that is that life and your what you do, your daily everything you do is your guru, is your mentor, is your trainer. That's what
Yeah.
Newsies was for you.
Hmm. Yeah. Newsies. The, it. I. I think my training came from just trial and error in
Mhm.
life,
Yeah.
and I think I learned so much from that because um and also the teachers that I had at Belleville West, because I didn't go to college to like study there. So the teachers and the directors and the coaches that I had at Belleville West, that's all I had. That's all I know.
Mhm.
So like that. And it's funny because when I started rehearsal for this, and they were going through all the acting and like and the different scenes and the intention behind stuff, I was like, all this stuff just makes sense because it's stuff that I did even when I was in high school. So I was like, my teachers are good. They're really good.
You know what? My son is just finishing his master's at Boston University in jazz, and he's going to be a teacher. He's a
Yeah.
musician. His school, Parkway North, and I grew up in LA. The schools are nowhere near even come close to what we have available right here locally. And I think that's why there's so much great talent because an
Yeah.
emphasis on theater and entertainment and the arts. If people only knew, more people knew the greats that we had that came from here, you'd be going, what? And you're one of them.
Wild.
You're
Wild
on your
place.
way.
Yes.
So, and you learned again the daily, the daily grind, the okay, headshots. What is that? Now it's all digital now. I know in LA
Mm.
before it used to be an actual 8 by 10. I don't know if they even do that anymore, do they?
Yeah, we do. We still do the 8 by 10 resume, like stapled front and back, and so
They
you can
still
flip it.
do that?
Yes,
That
yes,
makes me
very much a
happy. I don't
thing.
I don't feel so old now. It's funny, and what getting into radio was my same thing. I didn't go to I dropped out after one semester of college, and it was all learning as you go. I got lucky,
Mm,
and you learn, and you look at people who you want to emulate, kind of a thing.
exactly.
And so you get into Newsies, and then and how long was that for, that show?
So Newsies, um, I was auditioning for that all the way to that closed in 2016. That closed in 2016. Um, and funny enough, so I started auditioning for it when I was a sophomore in high
Wow.
school, and I got a final callback my senior year.
Wow.
Yeah, that
Even
was
to get one call back, I would have been going, and then they just keep calling you back?
well, they called me back and they closed like 3 months later, but
Oh,
but
but
it was it was insane because I started auditioning when I was a sophomore, senior year. And they had never, when I went to the auditions, they had like 3 rounds in the day of auditions, and I never made it past the first round ever.
wow.
Senior year, I go to a final callback, and they're like reading off the roster of like who's there. It's like, okay, time to check in, whatever, like that. And some people, they had their resumes already. Some people, they like needed them. And I walked up to the desk, and they had my very first headshot that I ever gave them.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, that's insane. That's
They were
amazing.
thinking of you that whole time,
Should
right?
yes.
Think about that. I mean, they always just said, "Okay, okay, we got him. Let's just keep going." You just didn't know it. That's all.
Yeah. And I can
Wow.
absolutely understand, like, because I was like, I don't know what a pirouette is. I can't pirouette and jump like these other people can. But I think that they saw like my progression as the years went on.
Mhm.
So I'm glad that they saw something in me. And now I'm working for Disney all these years later.
Wow, that's so crazy, isn't it? Well, you gotta let me know what your mom and dad said when you were like, "I wanna do this."
They said, well, actually, funny enough. So I I became almost like obsessed with learning
Mhm.
how to like really dance.
Mhm.
So I started following all the newsies on Instagram. I looked up YouTube videos of how to do pirouettes, how to do a toe touch, and how to get your legs higher and everything. Like on my Facebook, um, like I was like posting these pictures of like I was like doing a bob on my leg was barely coming up to like 45 degrees, but I was looking at it and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's so good.
Yeah.
And as the years went on, but my my mom and dad, thankfully, were very, very supportive. One,
Mhm.
because they also were entertainers, but also they saw how dedicated I was to doing it. And that's
Mhm.
something that my parents are very consistent on. It's like, if you want to do something, we're not just going to necessarily follow you blindly, but if we
Mhm.
see that you have the drive and the dedication to
Mhm.
really wanting to do this, then we're behind you 100%.
And you didn't wanna do this to be famous, you wanted to do it for the love of it.
Absolutely.
You see that right
Absolutely.
now. Who were you can name your teachers from the school, I'd love to hear.
Oh my gosh. So
So it's
my
Bellevue West, right?
yes, Belleville West. Oh my gosh, there are so many. Mr. Jenkins, Lee Reidelberger, Russ Reidelberger, Mr. Johnson, Ms. Chalmers, Dr. Hensey, Mrs. Navaria, Mrs. Burkowski, like literally almost every single teacher at Belleville West.
Well, they better come out and see you,
Oh,
see
they
the
they
show.
they are. And funny enough, actually, one thing that had an effect on my dancing that I haven't really talked about. is my senior year, I joined the football team.
So you ended up doing you did say sports at one point.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes. Because I did sports all through middle school, and then high school I dedicated myself to theater. And then my senior year, so I was just like, I need to like get into I need to, because all these boys are so athletic and newsies and
Mhm,
like they're athletes. So I was
mhm.
like, I need to train like an athlete. So I like my senior year I had to take PE, and we had athletic PE. And I was like, can I be an athletic PE? I'm a dancer, so it counts. So I should be in there.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
we were in weight room one day, and the teacher was also the football coach, and he said, "Do you want to try out for the football team?" And I said,
That's great.
"Huh?" And
And
so I tried out for the football team, and I made it, and I was on varsity, and I ended up becoming a starter later in the season. And because I was in weight room and just like getting my body back into like the athleticism of what dance is, because
mhm,
dancers are athletes.
very
Um,
much so. And the
like I
stamina to get your
Yes,
stamina. Yeah.
and I
Mhm.
think that took me to the next level,
Have you ever
honestly.
heard of there's and I can't remember who, but there's more than one, but there was one, this was, well, you wouldn't have heard, you were too young, but a football player that became famous because he was taking dance to be a better football player.
I
And you'll
wouldn't
have
doubt
to
it.
look it up. Yeah, look it up. I can't remember his name, but I remember it was such a big deal. And now you see that more and more because professional athletes are realizing that they need more than just certain moves, just like a dancer does.
Yes.
You need the strength, the stamina, but to be flexible. So he
Mhm.
wanted to be flexible, and, it's funny because I love dance, but I love boxing, not mixed martial arts. I'm talking about real, like Muhammad Ali,
Mhm.
Holyfield, because it's a dance. It's a dance. It's a different type of dance. So, I
Yes.
think that was actually really, really a smart choice for you to
Mhm.
do. And
Yeah, it just kind of fell into my lap, but I was very, very, very happy to get back into that world, because I do love like sports and like the competitiveness and the athleticism and everything and the challenge of it.
mhm.
Um, but it I'm very happy that that's where it went.
So right now, okay, I want to explain to people that don't know what it is to be a swing because I know theater well, and so you're in Aladdin and swing, right?
So I'm becoming a swing in January.
This is huge, and I have to explain. You could explain, but for me, the way I've always known it is that you pretty much have to know how to do every role.
Mhm.
That's tough. That's hard, and you will be
Yes.
thrown on the stage last minute. You better be ready.
Yes. We have eight ensemble men on
Hmm.
stage every night.
Wow.
So my job come January will be knowing all eight, and it could be it could be like 2 hours before I have to be at the theater, and it's like, hey, you're on for Tyler today.
Hmm. That's right.
It, do it.
Get
So
ready. You
you
get
get
it.
ready because you're going on.
Yeah.
But I had been a swing before at I used to work at Six Flags St. Louis
Hmm.
back in the day,
Hmm.
and I was a swing there, so I learned three different shows, but I was covering like four or five different guys.
Hmm.
Um, but I just love the challenge of it. It is incredibly hard. It is incredibly
Mhm.
hard, especially um here and like on Broadway and doing national tours, because like at Six Flags I was like scheduled on
Mhm.
like every single day. I knew exactly who I was going to be, so it was like easy, just like clockwork. But
Mhm.
here you're not scheduled on like every single day.
Mhm.
So it could be a while before
Mhm.
you do that track again, and it all depends on the people who are on stage every night, because God forbid something happens to them, but when something happens, you have to happen. So
Mhm. You're right. I would think to me that is better than any college could ever train you in that. I mean, what a great training ground.
Yes. Yes. You learn. I because it's obviously all I had, but I think that what you learn from doing it in trial and error is a fantastic teacher. That's not to say that you don't get any type of training from going to college, because I've I've always said the thing that I wish that I had, like, about going to college is just being in dance class every
Hmm.
single day and just
Yeah.
training so hard every single day.
Hmm.
But when it comes to audition life and just living on your own and
Hmm.
all this other stuff in the city, that's something that like you can be told about, but when you do it actually, that's when you learn what works for you,
Hmm.
because there's
Right.
no textbook way of okay, when I move there I got to do this and this and this and this and this. It's
Yeah.
we're all completely different people, so what works for me might not work for you. What I
Right.
need to do before an audition might not be what you need to do.
And I think that I wasn't, I'm not dissing college at all. I think college, I wish at times I would have gone just to have a different kind of thing. But then, you're absolutely right. I can't remember how many acting classes I went to that I went, okay, that worked for them. That I don't like that method, or I don't like that teacher. I don't, it's like anything, you're trying on these different classes. And what's funny is you learned a lot also online. YouTube University, I've got my PhD almost in it. You can learn a
Yep.
lot. People are sharing their knowledge. So for Aladdin, which by the way opens, I have it on it's right there. It's at
December
the
12th.
Fox. Thank you. And
Of
you
course.
better get your tickets because I think it's
Y-
premiering at the Fox. So I think it's going to sell out.
it's selling really well. It's selling really well.
Yay! I love that. I love that show, so I'm really excited about
Yeah.
it. But I remember I went off track. I was asking you something, now I can't remember what it was. Oh, for this, okay, for Aladdin. So how do you train? Do you work with each of the people that you could be going in for, or do you just have to watch and learn?
um well, right now focused I'm focused on my own
Hmm.
full-time track, but when I do start learning my next ones,
So that's right, because that's January.
yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
when I start learning my next tracks, it's it's going to be rehearsals with the dance captains. It's going to be watching. Um it's it's going to be very fast paced,
Hmm.
especially when you learn the show. Once you already know the show in one track, you can kind of piece together like where other people are on the stage. And so you're
Hmm.
not necessarily learning choreography anymore. You're just learning, where do I stand when I do this section? Where do I stand when I do this section? So I feel like whenever you start learning, when I start learning my third track or my fourth track, it's just going to be okay, so you're there for this, you're there for this, you're there for
It's
this, you're
more
there for that.
blocking, in other words.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's more
Okay.
blocking than
Gotcha.
it is so we're going to step through this, number by number by number. It's,
Yeah.
it's go.
I got to ask another question because
Yes.
we have a lot of people that are seasoned Broadway actors and entertainers and musicians come to the Fox and say, even in New York, this theater. I mean, you've been in New York now. How, does it? How? I mean, isn't it just? Don't you just come home and go? I'm at the Fabulous Fox.
I'm so excited to be at the Fox. Even seeing it right there. I can't believe that I'm gonna get to perform it at home. And I've seen so many shows at the Fox, and I've been there before. It's not far from my house.
Hmm.
It's right there. And actually, everybody here in the cast is so excited to play the Fox. They're like, it's the Fox. It
Hmm.
is the fabulous Fox Theater.
Yeah.
And just how grand it is. I mean, New York theaters, they're beautiful and some of them are incredible, but I don't think I've seen one that compares to the Fox. And just like, and not even just like the house and the seats and everything. It's everything outside of it. It
Mhm.
all the architecture, all the details and everything. I haven't seen anything that compares, personally.
I haven't either. I've been New York, London, and LA still, and there are some beautiful London has some beautiful theaters.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
it's there's something about the Fox, the history of it, the every time I go, I find something new to just stare at. There'll be a column that I'd never seen before, and I'm going, "Look at the detail in this work." I mean,
Hmm.
it's crazy. Oh, yeah, there's a show too. I guess I
Yes.
it's that kind of a theater. It's a feeling. And St. Louis loves theater. Oh, do we love theater? It's
Yes.
which we love too, obviously.
Hmm. And that's what I'm so excited about, because it's a big theater. So some people would think that it's hard to fill a theater with over 4,000 seats. St. Louis, it's not that hard. If the
Mm-mm.
material's good, if the show is good, if it's theater, if it's live, St. Louis is going to show up.
Oh,
And
yeah. Oh, yeah.
like just like, even look at the Muni.
Mhm.
The
Muni is
Muni
beautiful.
is
That's
massive,
just a yeah, yeah.
massive, and
Mhm.
they're selling out there, no problem. Like,
Yep.
the Fox, St. Louis loves theater.
Yeah, they really do, and we love you because we love that you went out, you're going out, you're gonna be getting these Tonys, and then you'll always thank St. Louis, and well,
Yes.
you will, I know you will. And you're excited? What can somebody expect from Aladdin that let's say all they've seen is the movie? How
Mhm.
does it compare? Is there different songs?
Yeah, so it's the story that you know,
Mhm.
and it's the story that you fell in love with, and it's just a little bit enhanced
Love it.
with some new scenes and some new songs and some new characters that you didn't get to see in the movie, but you're gonna love just as much.
Ah, I love it. I'm so excited about it. And again, premiering at the Fabulous Fox on our very own from is you're back home. Is it weird to be back home a little bit?
Yeah, it's going to be weird, because like usually, like when I was performing at Six Flags, it was like I'd get in the car and drive 45 minutes away, but right now I'm going to be going
Are
to
you staying
perform
at a
at the
hotel that
Fox.
they're putting you up, or is your mom and dad going, no, you're staying here?
I'm staying at a hotel.
Yeah,
Love you, mom and dad, but I'm
I love you, but you're not going, hey, you gotta clean your room. No, I'm a grown-up now. Thanks.
yep. But I am excited to I don't think it's gonna feel real.
Hmm.
Like, even when, like, we've been out on tour in all these other cities, I've been like, just like looking at pictures of the Fox, like
Mm,
anticipating it. Um, but going to places that I know and that I love, just around like the city, and then be like,
hmm.
oh, time to go to work, and I walk into the Fox.
It's so
Like,
cool.
that's insane. That's insane. I'm so
It's
excited.
cool. I'm excited for you. We're excited to see you again. Got to see Aladdin. Get your tickets now. And I just want to
Yes.
thank you so much for your time, especially the morning. You're a theater person. You're supposed to be sleeping now.
Yes, we got another show tonight.
Oh, wow. Well, congrats on where you're at. You're just going to go further and you're doing it. You're following your bliss, which I love.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And you know what they say, break a leg.
Thank you. Thank you. I will do my
Thanks.
best.
Thanks, Nathaniel.
Thank you.
Hopefully.